Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on that AM dial. And if you're over there on the YouTube side, go to WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com. You can find us at WRMN Radio. We've already got a couple people jumping over there. I also invited you to send over some of these. And of course, Mary Kay from Burlington sent over some pictures because I've got these two gentlemen in here with me. The two gentlemen that are accosted by the by these pies.
Does anybody
here.
know who that lady works for?
She's got a WRMN t-shirt on.
Yeah, but they give
Oh,
those
my
out to
goodness.
anybody.
Exactly. Come on over and you can get one as well. Of course, I've got two amazing gentlemen here with me today. That would be Village President of Gilbert's, Guy Zambetti, over there on the end, and of course, Village President of Hampshire, Mike Reed, as well. Do you guys prefer president, mayor? Is it?
Let me just do first name.
Honestly, yeah, just Mike and Guy are fine.
Mike and Guy.
They've worked. The first names have worked all this time.
Exactly. Mike and Guy are here to talk about municipalities, and we're going to start the conversation off with groceries, but I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to jump into the conversation. Hop over there on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com and leave a message over there. Find us at WRMN Radio. You can also send us a text message, 505-926-1410. I know Guy's getting a whole bunch of text messages that should probably come this direction.
I'm trying to say it.
We'll get there. Or here's an even better way to do it. If you've got one of those phones that you're trying to put text into, why don't you put some numbers in there? And that'll be 847-931-1410. Give us a call. We'll go ahead and talk with you. Do you have a concern? Are you questioning? Maybe is your municipality adding this 1% tax back on? Did you appreciate that the governor let them just do it without a referendum? I'm sure that there were a couple people that weren't too happy about it, but the municipality needs that 1% as well. Essentially, that 1% that went away, we all thought was from the state, actually made sure that it went to the local municipalities. And let's talk about that real quick there, fellas. We got until the end of the year for the 1% grocery tax to go to continue on the state side. And now what that is supposed to be is it's supposed to go into a general fund for local municipalities. And you said, Mayor Reed, that it was for the place that the groceries were bought from. Is that how that worked?
From the store the store where it resided.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and it never went to the state. It was never part of their budget. So for him to cut it, it didn't hurt him. Like seriously. I mean, you're laughing about it, but it's the truth. But I mean, you talk about all the budget shortfalls and this, that, and the other thing that happens at the state. It didn't hurt him. It didn't hurt the state at all. But you talk like a municipality. You know, there was we're not allowed legally. Not allowed to give out numbers, like seriously, as far as taxes go. But I mean, it's somewhere between 10 and 100,000, right? For most municipalities our side. But depending on how many grocery stores you have, think about like Algonquin. Think about Elgin, Meyer, all the big grocery stores and stuff. You're talking millions, millions, just with a stroke of a pen, gone. And so that impacts police services, water services, fire protection services, like it's employees. You figure, I was talking to one municipality and they figured it was $250,000.
Wow.
$250,000 to a like-sized community. Let's say similar to Hampshire. It's not. It wasn't. But they were looking to add some police officers. Okay, so everybody thinks a salary of a police officer, that includes insurance, time off, liability, pension, all this stuff. I mean, what was about $100,000 to hire a police officer, right? So gone. Wow. And he did it because of the municipal budgets. Most municipal budgets are May 1, so April 30th, May 1. And so the state approved their budget after, I forget exactly, or right as the budget cycle was complete. So most of the municipalities already had their budgets approved. And then
Wow.
all of a sudden on January 26th, which is midway through a municipal budget that had already been approved, it was going to be gone.
Gone. So that's money that you all are
Already-
counting on for the budgets going forward. So what options did they leave you, Guy?
It really hasn't affected us as much. We don't have as
Mhm.
much grocery tax coming in because we don't have a grocery store.
He's getting verklempt over here because we're talking about groceries.
Oh, gotcha.
No, so for us, the only options that you had were to leave it the way it was
Mhm.
and take the hit, and then try to, you could do things like do a referendum to raise property taxes. You could do things like raise rates or impose a vehicle sticker, or there's other, I want to say, for lack of better terminology, creative ways you could raise
Mhm.
funding. But then you're just trying to okay, they took this away from us. Now we need to make it up. And so in what way are you going to make it up in the same fashion? So there's always ways but that's the nickel and diming. And that's the stuff that people get really upset about, right? Like you shouldn't have to pay, in my opinion, to throw out your trash. You're already paying to throw out your trash. So why are you going to have to put a sticker on your yard waste bag? You know what I mean? Like you're already parking your car on your driveway. Why do you need a vehicle sticker? Like I don't agree with that kind of stuff.
Well, the other difficult part with that is, at least with the grocery tax, you have a chance that you're capturing money from outside people coming in.
There's
as
no chance.
opposed-
That's a fact.
Well,
I mean, take a look at all the
you
grocery.
do have your locals, but you also have outside people coming
Where
in.
a wheel tax
When
would be directly
you
the
are
citizen.
now, you get a lot of scrutiny because now you're putting it directly right onto your residence, which that does not go well.
Well, for the optics guy, it made the governor look like, hey, well, you know what? I'm low taxes. Let's lower them down. But it
Well,
made
yeah.
all the municipalities the opposite. Now
Well,
all the
yeah.
municipalities become the tax raisers. Oh, we're going to add taxes to the stuff that you have.
Right, the greedy municipalities.
See how this went? Take the grocery tax away,
Uh-huh.
then raise the gas tax, then have the municipality months later instill their own grocery tax. So you're paying more, but it sounded like something good happened.
It did. And it's the optics for a lot of this too and again, we talked about it in the first hour about how the local side gets caught up in this brinksmanship, this gamesmanship of everything. I want to look good, so I'm going to lower a tax that doesn't even affect me, while I have to make the municipalities that may have maybe a different political lean than me have to turn around and raise the taxes too. I mean, we've even seen that on the county level. Kane County tried to pass the referendum for adding another tax onto that.
Yeah.
And so it seems like everybody is trying to not necessarily balance the budget, but also look like they're also cutting a deal. It's like,
Yeah.
not only am I paying my bills, but I got $10 off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, it's that same argument with Amazon. Should I buy this TV or should I wait for it to go on Prime Day when it was really cheaper before Prime Day? But it says it's on sale.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. You're paying the same taxes, if not more, but with this shell game, it's changing the flow of where it goes. What do you guys have as municipalities to kind of not necessarily bolster but to kind of adjust the income from the municipality? Is it mostly property taxes? Is it some sort of sales? Is it more from a entertainment or trying to grab it from outside? What is your normal
Well,
income type of
that-
side?
This is my
that
favorite
gets-
conversation
that-
ever.
That gets very creative, especially when you're a non-home rule community. Now you even get a little more challenging.
Gotcha.
There's minimal to nothing except starting to instill things onto your residents, which you're in depending on what you're going for. First off, they're not going to go for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
Because they're getting pulled by everybody else. I mean,
Right.
at the end of
And
the
there's
day,
only-
you guys are the
things
last
got
ones
expensive.
on the pole.
Right.
Absolutely. And then it's like you're not going to anything that they have to vote on and support. They're not going to do. They're not going to pass a referendum. And referendums are good for things like, okay, we need to maybe do a new building or streets, but that doesn't help with that officer. It doesn't help with
Right.
the ongoing salary positions that, okay, a one-time boost of money coming in doesn't keep that person employed.
The problem is we're not on the same playing field as municipality to municipality, a lot of times within our own county or in the state. And we understand this as local municipal leaders, but there's so many legislators in Springfield that have no understanding or appreciation for how municipal government works in general. As he mentioned, home rule versus non-home rule. I would bet you that the three of us understand what that is, but the majority of your listeners didn't even know that was a thing, because the amount of people that are moving east and they go, well, can't you just do this? Where I came from in larger city X, they just did this.
Yeah. Well,
we're-
larger city X has soda tax.
Right.
Larger
Right.
city X has all the other
exactly.
things that
Like,
are out
okay, let's talk about fuel. Like some of the larger communities, like especially in Cook County, can charge a fuel surcharge or tax on fuel. So I always get beat up as the mayor of Hampshire. How come Hampshire's gas stations are so much more expensive than anything on Randall Road? The answer to that is because they can. Hampshire doesn't get any gas tax on any gallon of fuel that's sold in our municipality at all. Motor fuel tax is dispersed on a per capita basis, which is based on your population. You get a disbursement from the state of motor fuel tax. So because gas is 50 cents cheaper or more expensive in Hampshire, that's just the way it is. Okay, we don't have any say of it, nor do we have the authority to say, hey, you're selling gas too high. So it's and believe me, it's not going into anybody's pocket in the community. It's just that's the way it is. So you talk about like Butt municipality in Cook County, they have a gas tax. City of Chicago, gas tax. They can impose that because they are home rule. We are not.
Now, we talked about how you bring the stuff in. What are some of the things that you guys spend out? There's so many plethora
You
of
name it.
things. It just seems like it's just right down the road. Everything that you look at in downtown, the municipality pays for.
And not only that, but we also have to pay for whatever whim that gets coming out of the state government as far as unfunded mandates, as there are
Yeah.
many, state and federal.
And so, this balancing act that you have for here, what kind of teams are you guys looking at? Hopefully, I pray to God it's not just the two of you in in an office all by yourselves at 2:00 in the morning with one of those calculators that has the lever on it.
It becomes creative. So I have a great staff, and I know Guy has a great staff.
Yep.
And then, honestly, this job is lonely. So, I mean, the amount of times that I pick up the phone and I call Guy and I just go, come on, help me through this, because you don't know it until you're doing it. But as far as trying to balance the budget, that's always a challenging conversation. I mean, and you're always dealing with, every community's different. So I've said this on this station before. I'm a mediocre mayor at best in my community, okay? But pick
Don't
me.
sell yourself short,
but
sir.
I'm
Don't.
being honest, okay? So like I do the job and I do the job okay, but I know that there's somebody that could think that they could do it better or whatever. But that's fine. But we're doing the best that we can do. But if you were to take me out of Hampshire and put me in Gilbert's, I'd be a lousy mayor. I'm being serious. Guy has the knowledge.
Oh.
Guy's been around. He knows the players. He knows the space. He knows all this stuff. But
I think you'd work out fine. Don't sell yourself short.
Hey, Guy, does that go to Mayor Reed's I guess statement of every municipality is different? I mean, it has different constituents, it has different industries, it has different stores that
Yep.
are for there. The cookie cutter side of things, I don't think will necessarily fit every single municipality. And do you also believe that the state doesn't understand that?
I do believe there's a lot of differences between the communities alone. Like, for example, like Hampshire's right next to us, Pingree Grove's right next to us. I do think we have a lot of similarities to where someone like the state, there's a lot of things we can relate to, but then there are some things that we kind of fall off the edge with. Comparing to our municipality, like, for example, to Huntley or Algonquin. We're about 9,000. Those communities are about 30,000 plus communities. They have different needs and wants, and we're right in the same backyard. But in relation to some of the topics and a lot of the topics that affect us, I don't feel there's a lot of differences as far as the biggest difference is us in the city of Chicago. And I do feel, if you're in the city of Chicago, you're on one playing field, and if you're in the suburbs, you're another. The population is going to drive it, and they give all the favoritism to the population.
Are you saying
and we fall
even-
off the spectrum?
Are you even saying
100%.
specifically Cook County and then the I guess the first
No,
ring?
no,
Or
we're
are
talking
you
about
saying
the city of
the
I'm
Chicago.
talking
actual
about the
city?
city of Chicago.
Yeah, there's so much legislation that's written out of Springfield that is it's language about park districts where they say that this applies to park districts except for those that over a certain square mile. This applies to school district under a certain population.
Wow.
This applies to a city with a residency under less. I mean, it's in. I'm not going to say every bill, but it's in a lot of the legislation that's written there. So it's like the exclusions and the powers that are given to us. I would even say not even the city of Chicago, but I would say home rule versus non-home rule. There is such a disparity of legislators that even understand or know what that means.
Well, let's go into that for a second. What's the difference between home rule and non?
Well, you know what, though? I want to go back to the
Okay,
city
yeah,
of Chicago one because I'm actually leaning more towards that. Here's an example. Metra,
Mm-hmm.
$275 million expansion to get out to Rockford because there's so many people that are going from the city of Chicago to Rockford to go on a 2-hour train trip
Mm-hmm.
that's only going to stop at 4 stops because it could only stop at 4 to get there. The state's investing $275 million.
And then they're going to move the
Now-
stadium.
Okay, but wait. Now here's right. Now here's another thing to look at. Who's in control of that? Who's in control of that when you're watching and getting the information on the news and whatever other source you're getting? What's going on with Metra, CTA, PACE?
yeah, and
Now,
and
who's the
base-
controlling factors when these tentacles come out into the suburbs?
Mm-hmm.
Who's feeding this piggy, and who's got the vote in that? Is it the population that drives that? Because that's kind of what I'm seeing this going. So it means we're all going to dump into this, but there's someone that's going to be swinging the hammer.
Well, and it's no different than like when you talk about the CTA and the RTA and the fiscal cliff that's all been in the news and all that
Was
stuff.
$700 million?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's and so I've testified at a number of House committee hearings on transportation. I did the House and I did the Senate, and they had one that was up here. It was cooler months in March, I believe, February at Elgin Community College.
Mhm.
And really what they're trying to do is try to find a way for a budget shortfall. And so what they want to do is they want to combine CTA, Metra, PACE, the RTA, and all that stuff. And they want to take away local control of the CTA from Chicago, and they want to make it more regional until you dig into the language. Okay, now the funding and stuff I can get behind. I can get behind you being able to take your one pass and be able to get on any public transportation because it's easier and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of selling points, except for the fact that, and I don't have the paperwork in front of me, okay? So don't beat me up too hard if it's wrong, okay? But the governor gets 5 people, the city of Chicago gets 5 people, the Cook County gets 5 people on this board, and each of the collar counties get 1. We're in Kane County.
Wow.
Okay, so we get 1 person. Okay, and that's where, like you were saying, that's where the population is. Well, not really, considering if you regionalize it, right, that's just Chicago has more people. But like for the city of Chicago and the governor to get 5 people on this transit board, proposed transit board, and then Cook County to get another 5 people, and then everybody else just gets 1.
They're in control.
Yeah, they absolutely are because they want to be in control for the hub. And
That's going broke.
Yes or no, exactly. Yes or no, they're also the ones that are in charge of the situation that we're in right now. The other thing that I read as well, the CTA is also authorized to buy buildings within stops as well. So they could put a stop in the middle of your municipality and say, you know what? These 3 buildings are now all owned by the CTA, and we're going to rent them out to whoever.
Kind of like what we were just talking about. Kind of like where we were just talking about with the post office, with solar farms, with everything. It's like every facet of a government entity that is not your own has control over the smaller one. Bigger fish eats the smaller fish.
Well, that's what I got here from a message. It says, this is from Alan in St. Charles. It says, it feels like a lot of decisions that affect our towns are made from the county or even the state level. What is the best way for regular residents to have a real say before these decisions are finalized?
Well, I guess being mayor is not one of them. Running for office is not the right answer because here we are. You're laughing, but it's true. Everybody's
oh
like,
my
oh, well, it's the
goodness,
mayor.
yeah.
It's the mayor's fault. It's the mayor's fault. It's got to be the mayor's fault. Okay,
Well, is it the numbers then? Is it to turn around and just
It's the
say, look,
numbers.
we've got to have a JB Pritzker Day over in Gilbert's and just invite him over and we'll have a festival. Well,
No, honestly, I think it needs to get away from this. I don't know how to. It's above me to put a stop to this. This whole our team against your team, this Republican Democrat team thing, and you try to repeat as much as you can in my community alone. I keep trying to repeat, and don't get me wrong, I go on my tangents too. I could get on my political platform where I favor my party that I vote for, but then there's a part where you have to back up and say, wait a minute, what is our bigger goal and objective here? Is it my community or is it my party? And that it's a very hard thing that you got to keep repeating to yourself and to others. Guys, we got this situation going on with these solar farms. Do you want to defend the Republicans or defend the Democrats, or do we want to defend our community of what's happening with these solar farms and just say we're not happy?
Guy, is it the jerseys? Is that what you're saying? People won't
It's the
take
it's a
off?
big jersey problem.
Oh yeah. Well,
You
even
can
your
put something out there that makes no sense, and I'm not just going to pick on one party. You can
Mm.
put something out there that it makes no sense from either party, but if it's because their party's behind it, a lot of them will take a position of I'm standing up for my party. I need more of them in office to represent my needs, and I'm going to get behind this, even if I don't believe in it.
And so Guy and I differ. I don't get on my political tangents hardly
It's hard.
hard. at
It's
all.
hard to believe.
I'm not calling you out. You do it and you admit it and you own it.
Yep.
But then I post a picture of me standing with the sitting governor of Illinois, and I get obliterated. Because they're like, we need a new mayor. We shouldn't be standing next to that guy, this and that. And I am hardly, if ever, at all political in anything that I do or I say. I vote how
Maybe
I vote.
it's saying you should post more, and then that way a picture like that would just get caught in the.
But just
in the
because,
frame.
but like I said, just because it's just because I took a picture and I put, but I can't tell you how many
How
people
dare
from how many senators, Republicans, or senators, representatives, other people, or former governors that were both that were another party. You know, it's just
Did you
that
wear
simple.
gloves at least? No, just, that's what I mean. Is we get to this point where it's how dare you even talk to that person, right? How dare you cooperate? How dare you try to do something outside of what the party has told you to do?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a simple math problem, and nobody wants to hear it. It's like it's just like everybody complains voter turnout is under 50% on average, right? So divide that in half. That's 25 and 25. That's your base. Okay,
Yeah.
that means there's 50% of the people that live in the middle, and that's who you're trying to talk to. And most of us in the middle are fed up, and they want these things to be resolved. They want to work together, but the base on either side doesn't let it happen. So like this solar farm conversation, same thing. It's never going to gather enough steam down in Springfield.
Right.
Well,
you
we've
can't
got
get the
about
support.
30 minutes left to figure out the rest of the problems in the world, but that's okay. We've got friends, those over on YouTube. We really appreciate you being over there. Adam Schraw says, a lawyer and two mayors walk into a bar. Like it's a set for a joke that's going on here.
I didn't hear the second part.
He's not very funny in general. I know that guy.
Oh, so maybe it's good we don't hear the punchline.
We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. I've got my two friends here, the two mayoral friends that I've got over here. That's a big word for me sometimes, especially this early in the week. Speaking of that, we've got a political talk show coming up through the rest of the week. Don't forget that the show starts at 4, goes all the way to 6, Monday through Friday. I'm going to see if I can rope one of these guys to come in for Free Speech Friday this week to see if we can maybe get them into the debate. And one of those debates that we've got here on Free Speech Friday, I'm going to bring up with the two mayors that we've got here. That would be Mayor of Gilbert's, Guy Zambetti, and also a Mayor of Hampshire, and that would be Mike Reed. Thank you both for being here. I've got the most important question that we bring up almost for every new person here on a political talk show with the Free Speech Friday style. Hot dog, sandwich, or something else?
something else.
Yeah. Who the heck calls it a sandwich?
Lots of people. Lots
Well,
of
they're
people
wrong.
say it's sandwich.
They're wrong.
What is it then? Is it just a hot dog?
It's a hot
It's
dog.
just a hot dog.
So then what about a lobster roll or something like that? Is
You
is that a sandwich
It's
too?
got a
or-
roll in the name, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what do you put? Come on.
So the Earl of Sandwich would approve that hot
Earl,
dog stays
Steve,
away?
John, whoever it is of sandwich. They would,
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so you live just outside enough from the city limits. We've already talked about how we feel about the city of Chicago. The Chicago dog, or any dog in general, do we put ketchup on it?
you do you, boo.
Yeah.
like I got my own problems. What you put
Yeah.
on your hot dog is your
Is
problem.
my problem would be, okay.
I put ketchup.
You put ketchup on it?
Put ketchup.
I'm there with you, guy. I'll put some ketchup on there. Onions too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
You know what?
That's-
So I'm like chili dog guy, right? But my wife is from Detroit, so they have Coney dogs out there with the chili sauce and mustard and onions. It's a little bit different.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
bit different.
No, I like me a good cheese coney from.
Yeah, I know about these onions.
I'm from Cincinnati, so I love those chili dogs that are over there. It's fantastic. So let's talk about the vision, right? You guys get to jump in. You get to usher the vision from the last person. You get to put your own kind of management style to everything and then hand it off to the next person over there. I guess we'll start with you, Guy. What is the vision that you have been, I guess, charged to steward over here? What's the vision of Gilbert's?
Oh
That's-
yes, please
Are we
enlighten
going-
us.
are we
Tell me
going
about this
bigger?
You
vision.
just got me in
Are
trouble.
we getting a whole
You know, the
bunch of
problem
stuff?
is we have a lot of different visions.
The Gilbert's data center is going to be there.
Yeah,
The
well,
GPT
we
will
don't like
stand
that.
for
We don't-
Gilbert's.
You know what?
No, I enjoy this. I'm just going to stare.
Because he's
You
next,
can't see
is
it.
what it
If
is.
you guys are listening, stare to the left of your radio.
This is something you don't typically give an answer about. You just like go with the flow.
Okay.
There's people in our community they don't want development. Then there's some that like we're fine with planned development. And planned development means planning not to do development.
okay.
And then
Okay.
then there's people that don't want development, but they want the walking past the Park District. They want all the amenities. They want the carnival. They want
Is
they
there
want everything.
something that they're asking for? Is there something that they
It's
need
all
or anything? like
over the board.
Okay.
I can't put a rhyme or reason. There's people that want the conveniences of a package on their doorstep and they don't want the truck. It's difficult, and I gotta say this is where social media has been a huge help, and I really feel when I don't see people sitting in a boardroom, you're doing something
Agree.
good.
1,000%.
And they're happy. And I do think before it was more difficult. It's easier now with social media because you're able to talk to them. You're able to go to them, and you'll work through things, and you'll be able to kind of get what's the majority looking for, and you try to keep the majority happy, and you talk to them like they're your friends, and they are your friends. They're your neighbors, and things go a lot better when instead of me sitting on a panel with 6 other board members, we're talking to the whole community as a group of friends of how do we want to go through stuff here?
Because you're in it together.
Yeah, and so for the most part, I think our village, they like things moving slow. They don't want growth to stop, but they definitely don't want things to be moving fast. They want good, nice, decent products. They don't want us just like slapping stuff in to slap stuff in. So they don't want industrial buildings. That I know they're very strong about. They want no industrial buildings.
Mayor Reed, are we going to see the Hampshire Water Park anytime soon?
Let's hope not. So as far as like what Hampshire,
Yeah.
so I always view kind of what we're doing is I'm the guy in the middle. Okay. So in the early 2000s, a lot of the growth that you see happening in Hampshire was approved. Now we've made changes and stuff to that over the year in relation to need of different housing types and stuff like that. But the subdivisions that you see building now were approved in the early 2000s.
Gotcha.
That being said, we also have not approved a single new residential development in my entire time on the village.
And that's because you're almost waiting to see how this development
Not
here.
no
for it,
no
or-
no. So what happened was in the early 2000s, everybody was moving and had money to spend, and they were building new homes. And then in 2008, the economy crashed, and then nobody built any homes. So then we're in a position where we have subdivisions that are on paper, like with lots and subdivided and plans for infrastructure and all of this stuff. The lots were already dedicated, and then nothing happened. And then enter the COVID years where now you can't get materials and you can't, like, people aren't moving their houses and all this kind of stuff. And it created a problem with the housing market. And now we have a 3 million home housing shortage, right? Because it never turned around or one way or another, or interest rates are now high. And so people aren't selling their houses, but people are still having families and need places to go. So that's why new construction is selling.
This is back when national is once again affecting you local.
Right. So, you know, I get the question all the time, does Hampshire support growth? Do you as a mayor, do you support growth? And the honest answer to that is it's not up to me. Like this is the box I have to live in. These are the cards I was dealt. So now we just have to manage it responsibly. We need to, you know, during the time of the economy, it's really easy to say, "Wow, the previous administration, they didn't do anything that blah blah blah." That's not true. I mean, in 2008, we got to a point where there were bonds out on the market, and we thought that they were going to sell the bonds, and then we were going to go bankrupt, and there was like a whole bunch of, like, you know, what happens if the bonds go up and stuff. Like, there were a lot of crucial conversations. Do I have things do I think that the previous administration could have done things differently? In some regards, absolutely yes. But also, I didn't live it. I wasn't a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But what I'm saying is that there are a lot of instances that I think that there could have been changes made or preparations and stuff. But again, these are the cards where we have dealt.
Well, let's just talk about that gotcha question for a minute, because that's exactly what it is. It's a gotcha question. So, Guy, do you support growth? Like, yes, for trees and children and
Right.
You know,
Are you a painter? Yes,
You
I
know-
paint a porch every spring.
exactly.
you know, the political answer to say is I support responsible growth. Then there's the point of being real with your people and being like, okay, guys, what do we want? And every time something comes in, we try to go through everything with them. So when we revised our comprehensive plan, we went through a whole series over a course of a year where we had people out at our community days, Easter egg hunts, giving little vouchers to do online questionnaires and get our community really involved in that. Now, we had a lot of input, and then we designed it based off of some of the feedback and then some of the studies that we've done. And I will say, even with that, as time goes on, you might get a development in, and our community will blow up on social media. We don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want? What do you not like about this? What can we work with, or can we not work with this at all?
Well, 'cause
It's
you're
really just getting to where we need to be.
Your municipality is going to change anyway.
Yeah.
And to me, that is growth. Even if you make something better, you take everything that you've got now and you make it better. To me, that's also growth.
Yep.
It's so many different. They want to get the soundbite out of you.
Yep.
They want to just grab that. Well, Mayor Reed said this.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and even then, it's not even to the point where you said anything. You just took a picture with somebody.
Yeah, well, there is that. There is that. Well, but you know, you talk about growth and responsible growth and stuff like. I mean, our communities. Gilbert's is no different than Hampshire in the fact that we've been around. When were you founded? We were 1876.
Yeah, I'd say
Right.
around there.
So, you know, we've got ancient infrastructure that not just the last administration. Okay. Again, we talked about the circumstances and box that they had to live in, just like the box that I have to live in. But there are previous administrations, plural, that didn't want to invest in infrastructure. Why? Because they would have to raise water rates. Why was that? Did they want to stay in office? Did the community not have the money? Did they think that this stuff was they put in the ground in the 1940s or 1950s was going to last forever? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is now it's past its usable life, and now we need to have the uncomfortable conversation of we need to raise water rates because we need to invest into infrastructure so that you can have safe water and this and that and the other thing. And then the question is, well, if you knew it was bad, why didn't you do anything about it sooner?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm here now.
I'm here now. I'm sorry. But I mean, Maybe I should just bury my head in the sand and pretend like it doesn't exist, and then wait
Like
until
the previous administrations.
or administrations in other communities that we see about on the news all the time, where they're saying we are having another water main break and we can't hire public works staff and the water's not safe to drink and it's nothing but boil orders and stuff like that. So, we see that all over the country.
Are we starting to see, just in a general sense at this point, are we starting to see the push come to shove with some of these infrastructure problems and some of these, even then the housing issues for some of the smaller sides? For the longest time, we have had this almost set it and forget it type of, you know what, it works now. We'll see we'll cross that bridge when it crumbles, right? Almost,
Right.
almost to that kind of side. Are we now starting to see, I guess, to mix some more of my colloquialisms, are we now starting to see the cows come to roost? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, well, and you know what? Makes matters worse is that you have, again, with federal impacting local.
Okay.
You have, the infrastructure bills and the infrastructure projects and stuff and the funding and stuff that was all passed at a federal level that's going to be made available to your local municipality, except if your demographics are this, except if the median household income for your community is this, except if it's not an emergency. And let's say that you've done a really good job with your infrastructure and you haven't had to do any emergency spending. So it's a conversation like, you make enough money to send your child to college, okay, on the paper, okay, but you don't really make enough money, but you make too much money that you can't afford, you can't apply for any of the grants because you make too much money, but you don't really make enough money to send your kid to school with all the other expenses you have. That's what it's like being in a municipality like ours right now, because all of the other funding opportunities that are afforded to other communities made up of different demographics or afforded to other communities that are made up with communities, people that make less money. There are so many cards stacked against communities like ours.
Is it almost counterintuitive to grow at a certain point, because you'll grow out of whatever nets that you might be working with or anything that's here? Growth is dangerous. I think that's why so many people ask about it. Change and growth is dangerous. It's risky. And how do you mitigate that, Guy, just a little bit on kind of that risk aversion of saying we need to have that solid core for the municipality first before we can kind of approve. And now this is all outside of the terrible, just we're going to put the state deciding to just put solar farms or anything else. I'm saying in a regular type of environment, how do you kind of mitigate the risks on that
I
one?
have a question.
Yeah.
Did you wait until you could afford it to have kids?
No.
Okay. Do you know
Yeah.
anybody
You
that
can't,
did?
right? You're going to get it regardless.
Did you see what I'm saying? So like you reach that point, and you're going to have kids.
Yeah,
You
I've seen Idiocracy. I can't keep doing it.
No, I mean, but it's the same thing. It's like, so when is the time? So let's say we take that approach and say, you know what? We have to get our house in order. We have to work on all of our infrastructure. We have to redo all of our roads. We need to make sure that we have the right amount of police force. We need to make sure we have people that.
Then we're open for business.
Then what? and then it goes back to the conversation that we had in the beginning with Hampshire was like that in the early 2000s. They put their head down and said, we don't want to grow outside these borders. All the other communities did. And they came up and they started doing the land grabs. It's my contention, no offense to Pingree Grove, I've had this conversation, that Gobert's and Stark's Corner was Hampshire for years and years and years, and it should have been, and it should still be. However, we were asleep at the wheel back then, and Pingree Grove took it.
It's pretty close.
They did. And you know what? Shame on Hampshire, right? That's just the way it is.
Well,
And
now
so-
that's another interesting. So and I'm not blaming Pingree Grove or
yeah.
that was a developer that drove a lot of that because we had the same situation. Now, an interesting thing, we were in a lawsuit with them, oh gosh, probably about 15 years ago, and we lost it. And it was over a boundary agreement. We had a boundary agreement with them, and I got to say, we thought we were smart the way we did our boundary agreement because Elgin was pretty strong with stuff. So we had a boundary agreement with Elgin saying we won't cross this line. We had the same boundary agreement with Pingree Grove, and we looked at it as, we don't care what you two do. We just say we're going to stay on this side of the line, even though you both are agreeing that that side's yours. We don't care. We just,
You guys can figure it out over there.
yes. And then the developer lobbied it, brought it down to the state, and got it turned into, it's a null and void agreement because you made an agreement that crossed two other communities. Yeah, but ours is just, we're not crossing the line. That's the way we took it, and then they reformed it. And regardless, we lost property because of that.
Well, Guy, you were
But-
saying that now, because of the solar aspect of it, it is a land grab now.
Yep.
Is this going to affect the relationship that you have between these municipalities together? Or
You know, I wouldn't do that. I don't think any of us would do that. All of our communities around us, we have great relationships with each other. What I do see it negatively impacting is the stuff that we negotiate out of the developers. That it will. Like, right now, these solar farms are going in. Pingree Grove's a FPA, Hampshire's FPA, our FPA. So we already know, okay, they're on their side of the line, ours. I don't think that will respect each other on that. I do believe that. The part is, like I said, when they come in, a developer comes in with an annexation to a town, that's the time for that town to say, wait. That's a right for you to come in our town, to tap onto our water, onto our sewer, to get serviced by us with plowing, everything else. You owe us.
Yeah.
You're going to dedicate this much because we need to expand to serve you. And we need that upfront cost. The school district needs that upfront. We're going to negotiate that and demand that out of you. You're going to donate this much in impact.
so that you don't wait for property taxes after.
We know that these 100, 200, 500 kids that go to this school, we got money out of that developer to say, school district, take care of them. And 2 years from now, when the taxes actually kick in, you should be in good shape. We don't have that if this happens like this. Now it turns into get the land, get it annexed in. The developer comes in and goes, I don't need to negotiate with you. I'm already in.
Right.
So is the play then for the municipalities to just grab up as much as they can
Or
on
lose
the
out.
outside? But again, how does that affect your budget then? Because now you're buying property that you
Well, you're
thought
not. You're
would
not.
just be
You're
for
not
that
buying
anyway.
property. You're annexing property.
Okay.
So
You don't have to come up with
So
money.
you don't. So we
Gotcha.
would. So
Okay.
what basically what we would then have to do is to your point is there's costs associated with that. People may not be living on it, but we have to maintain the roads, right? People may not be living on it, but we need to plow snow. People may not be living on it, but we need to provide police protection services because it's within our boundary, and it would be outside. It would no longer be a part of the county. So
So
there
you're
are
saying incorporate them into the
Correct.
city at that point.
correct.
It's forceful annexation. You surround the property and then you annex it.
But-
It's not a nice thing to do.
But to Guy's point, though, instead of us having those meaningful conversations to where we can say these are the things you need to do if you want to come here, it's basically no difference of you wanting to buy the crepe place across the street and open it. It's already there. It's already built. So what do you need to talk to the city for unless you need a permit?
Gotcha. So that's where I think we're going to run into yet again another person down the rung that's going to get hit. Now the unincorporated get affected with this. People that have voted time and time again to stay unincorporated. People
That too.
that have been saying we don't want to be a part of something. We can handle what we've got here.
Because their taxes go up. I mean, realistically, it's another line item on their tax bill with more regulations because ultimately
Yep.
we have more ordinances and zoning laws inside the municipal boundaries than they do in the county. So
You can't put a shed there. You can't do that. Like, yeah.
So now you have to, not only are you never want to be a part of it, but now you got to play by our rules.
So either be annexed into a municipality or be subject to being taken over by a solar farm or something.
Well,
that
they'd
doesn't
have to
necessarily
willingly be taken over by a
Well, you
solar
gotta
farm.
pay it. I
Like,
mean,
like
obviously it's
the
not
owner of the
sovereign.
property either needs to sell to a
Lease it
solar
or-
developer or lease. So the fact that no owner of a property is going to get forced into it if they don't want to.
Is this where the state's incentives for people to say, well, let's lease it to somebody and you'll get some of that money back or any
that's
of that
the
other
beauty
stuff?
of this. That is the beauty of this. All this is being done by us paying for it to be done. They are being incentivized to cut their cost. So these companies from outside the country are being incentivized to go on our own property. And it's being tacked onto our electric bills. We're paying for it to cut their costs.
Yep.
So which just seems absolutely ludicrous that the municipality will pay for the electricity for the solar farm that's there, but it is
Yeah.
a reality.
Well, the
And it's
municipality
not
and
even
his
the
residents.
municipality, the residents.
The residents.
They've gotten to the point where it's on your electric bills, whether you're incorporated or unincorporated, it's on your electric bill. And you're going to help, even though you have electric and you don't have solar, you're going to help pay for that solar farm that an out of this country company will buy. And they're going to sell the power. It's not even going to benefit your general area. They could sell that power to Chicago. They could even sell it out of state.
What is the size that I want to put a project in before the municipality jumps in? If I buy 5 acres, I buy, I don't know, 10 acres or so, or is it all about the purpose
It's the
of
use.
that land?
It's the
Got it.
use. Realistically, I mean, like those are the conversations we have. There was a gentleman that put up a facility. He's in the middle of putting it up now on the corner of Big Timber and 20. He operates a concrete company. It's going to be his headquarters. He's not doing anything with it really other than storing his trucks and operating his business out of it. However, it's at the corner of Big Timber and 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and it was right up against the school, and it was contiguous with the village, and so it made sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot of the conversation is like, and you also have to either be able to get to that property, like you can't annex into the village if it's on an
Don't own.
island.
Yeah.
So it has to be either surrounded by 3 sides or it has to touch the village in some way. So that's why if you look at municipal boundaries, a lot of times they're kind of weird in the fact that like all of a sudden, there's a square and then it goes all the way up.
Yeah.
It's because they had to find a way to get it contiguous.
And they have to go through the road to do it more than likely.
Correct.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, both of you,
Thank
for
you.
being here with me. I'm glad that I got you for the full 2 hours. It was fantastic. Next
Good
time
time.
I'll come down to your guys' place. We'll
well,
go down there.
Yeah. Hey, anytime. Thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It is great to talk with our municipal leaders. Of course, that would be Guy Zambetti, the village president of Gilbert's, Illinois, and then also village president with us as well of Hampshire. That would be Mike Reed. Thank you both for sitting here. You can watch it on YouTube if you missed anything. We'll see you tomorrow.